This is going to be a tutorial on how to fix the door issue on the BEKO dishwashers. There is actually a switch housing inside between these two pieces that the actual switch is popping out of the housing, and it will not tell the dishwasher that the door is closed. The first step, we're going to remove all of these screws around the perimeter of the dishwasher. Most of these are the same size. When you get up here, you're going to have a few that are different lengths, especially these two. You've got a really long one on one side. We'll see in just a moment here. Make sure you lay these out on your countertop in the order that you take them out, in the pattern that you take them out. So tools you need, preferably a screw gun with a Phillips head. That's going to make it a lot quicker. You can do it with a screwdriver. It's just going to be a lot slower. You might need a cutter to clip a zip tie on the inside. Sometimes you need to, sometimes you don't. Depends how they zip tie them at the factory. And then I like to, once I put the switch back in, take a zip tie or tape and go around the actual housing to keep the switch in and keep it from happening in the future. So I'm going to start here. Zip these out. All of these are the same length. All right, so you get up here and you see that you got a different screw there. So lay these up here, and then we're going to lay these out in the order they come out. I like to leave these two in until I get the rest of them out. That keeps your door from popping open on you. It is a little bit spring loaded, so you have to be careful. Those are the same length, and then we get back to the short screws here. All right, the last two, I like to keep my finger here to keep the door from popping open. So there's our long screw, and then another shorter one here. So we've got all the screws out, about to separate the pieces of the door, and it just springs open. Just keep a hand on it. And you will have a wiring harness in here. It's taped up here. Some are zip tied, some are taped. And what we're looking for is this switch right here. On dishwashers that are having issues, this switch, this gray switch in this housing, pops out from this holder. So we've got to put that back in. And you'll see here, there's only one way it can go. You've got two prongs that it sits in. And I'm actually going to pop this one out, and I'll show you what it looks like. So customers that are having issues with this, so this switch pops out like this. Actually, this one's in here really good. Looks like they made some changes on this one. So this whole thing will be popped out like this, be loose. And what it is, when your door closes, that switch tells your computer that the door is closed, and when it's out, it won't do that. So we got to go back on these prongs. Make sure you get it on the prongs, and then click it into place where this piece is up. And you might have to cut this zip tie here to give you some room to work. That's why I said you might need the cutter. So I'm going to leave mine on there. I've never had the issue with my dishwasher. This is my personal dishwasher, but I'm going to go ahead and run a zip tie around just to be safe. So I stick my zip tie down through the housing, and you may have to bend your zip tie. Bring it right back up. Go around this switch housing. Zip tie that down tight, and that is actually going to keep this switch from ever popping out again. So you won't have this issue anymore. So now that we have our switch back in its housing like it needs to go, we're going to do everything in reverse. We're going to put the pieces back together, make sure everything's seated well. I like to start with a long screw. That'll hold everything tight. Make sure you don't over tighten any of your screws. Put another top screw in, and then we will just continue. You got longer screws here and here, and then your shorter screws down through here. Screw everything back up, and you will be ready to go.